my side, right? You know, here's the thing about business. And I don't know, last time I sat down, I remember like about 3 years ago, I sat down with the accountant and then he was looking at the business model in terms of, I even spoke to you about this, that we've been investing so much into the workshops that we've been hosting. Right?
Yeah.
Now to someone, to that accountant at that point in time, it was like, but man,
It doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make sense. This is too much of a risk.
Yeah.
Like you guys are high risk. That's how she even calls us.
High risk.
High risk chance. So, but now, where do you actually match that vision, that potential? You know, it's that dream whereby, you know what, I'm going all in here with you being rational with what you said. Because when you spoke about that, it hit that chord. That they kind of the ones called us.
High risk.
Telling me that it's too much leveraging, too much.
So where do you find the balance when it comes to that? And you're having a conversation, you can see that right now. It's like they're possessed or something. So how do you find that when it comes to dealing with clients?
That's why I said we attach a lot of emotion to our babies because you're like, you know where you're going, you know what you want, and you're like, I want it to be like this. But sometimes we can be unrealistic, you know, and not unrealistic in the sense it's impossible to achieve. It's definitely possible, but you look at the stage or the level that you're in that current season or at that current time, you know. And I think Magati high risk, you guys probably wanted to go all in, nisale no zero. And you know, there were alternative ways maybe that you guys could have looked at to sort of get more money come in before you put out so much, you know. So I think trusted partners that you know have the best interest at heart and they won't advise you, you know, otherwise, or they won't lead you astray, you know, because if my vision and your vision align, then we're able to work on the mission of the business, you know. And it's important to get an accountability partner or a partner that understands your vision and that you can see with, okay, you know, if vision see hamba ngolai song type of thing, because you know they understand what you're doing, and when they say no, we're not doing this, it's because they're protecting you from something. So and I think most business owners do that. They're like, this is my business, I'll do it anyway. Then you go all in and then muscle loser, and then it's like, yo, I could have, should have, and it's too late by then. So I think trust the advice.
But assistant to know.
Trust the advice.
Look at the situation.
I'm looking at it.
I want to give you like its most practical for which now we understand, and I'm actually exposing now our business model.
Internal things.
Myself and Leb, we're not afraid to start from zero. Like even with the project that we're flipping, literally we took everything. So you've got Solokoro, you accumulated money from the past 2 years. And you're like, you know what?
All or nothing.
I'm not saying that I'm split. Some people would say that, as you did mention when we started, let me buy myself an LV. I've never purchased myself an LV. But trust me, when it comes to just the chance of me hosting a workshop or just the chance of us putting what we're doing on the platform, we're going to go for it. So now I'd like to understand now with what I just told you, what do you think about us?
How do you think about us? High risk, as I said. Because the ratio is not balancing. No, I think, I don't know, you wanted to say something.
No, I'm just saying that I guess it goes back to your profession. Because even with us as property investors, we see people coming in and saying that, no guys, I swear this is the right deal for you to
and you're like, nope.
And you're like, nope, it's not. It's not. But man, being on two sides of being on the middle, that I understand where Neo was coming from and I also understand where you are coming from. I'm just like, but I have to go with Neo's side.
No, because you're attached to it. Because there is an attachment to it and it's understandable. You understand? It is really understandable because you want to get to where you want to get to and you think getting there is just constantly having workshops. But maybe workshops are not what you need, you know? Maybe we can save money and do an online summit for example, where you don't need to spend on venue and people buy tickets and they get an experience online. Just making an example, maybe the return on investment is not, the ratio is not balancing. And if it's not balancing, then we need to stop on it. Stop, rethink, and we try again, type of thing. So emotional decisions do make you high risk because you're like, I'm reinvesting more. It's not like I'm splurging, I'm reinvesting, but you've done this for so many years. Why are you not seeing the return you wanna see? At what point are you gonna see the return? What now do you need to change to see the return? And I say this because I'm also that person. I'm like, because I speak, I love speaking to people. And I feel like when I speak to a person, I sell something to you, you will buy it. So I'm like, with my hairline, I want to, set up, like an activation type of thing, stand there, get speakers, get whatevers. And someone came to me and they're like, why can't you just advertise online? It's only $250 to do that, as opposed to you spending $15,000 to activate, and there's a platform that could get you more for 250 Rand. But because it's mine, I'm like, I will, not looking at if this person wants to purchase, they still engage you. This person still has contact with you. This person they showed me a whole different view of how to do it, but I'm saving costs while I'm doing it. So it's the emotional attachment. And sometimes we need to re-strategize. We need to rethink how we can save costs, but still reach the targets and the goal that we want to reach.
But the last one, right? Last one from my side, right? Is return on investment, maybe I can also ask you about that and then also use this again. Is return on investment always measured in currency?
Sure.
Because according to Susan it is.
I mean, I'm all about the money. I'm all about the money.
So when it comes to return on investment, is it always measured according? Let me ask you. Let's start with you in terms of your experience. Return on investment, has it always been measured as a measure of currency, or how do you see that?
From my past experience, right? As much as you could be getting money, there are also things that drive a business, right? So looking at a business, especially with the information that we give out, right? A lot of people are just like, these guys are just YouTube guys. You don't want to be just a YouTube person. Or you're an Insta-lab, or you want to be that tangible person that I've seen this person, I've taken a picture with this person. So that forms some sort of credibility. And now, if you're looking at return on investment from that perspective, then you're thinking that, okay, from the accounting side, this is not a good move because I'm overexposing my business. However, my business still needs credibility because people are like, I've never seen this person. So
how am I trusting you?
Even though somebody has never, or they don't know where you live, or they don't know what kind of person you are, but for the fact that they've met you in person, it makes you more real. So for me, that's why I was saying that I'm on the fence. I understand on your side, in terms of financially, you're overexposing yourself, and I'm not ready to be spending 15,000 on an event. However, looking at my brand, if I'm not hosting events, then you don't have that credibility. So now the question is that, would I rather have the 15,000 sitting in my bank account, or rather spend the 15,000 and then I'm credible on the outside, and then that information could then also be repurposed online. Now I hit two birds with one stone.
We must be careful in your passion. But I think in your passion also, even if you don't make the money back, it's okay. Because you're like, I did what I needed to do and I'm satisfied, But financially, then I come in and I'm like, we're not thinking. Let's try something else. Let's try another way. Let's try a cheaper venue, or let's try asking for sponsorships. Let's try, I don't know, various things. There's various things. Let's try a church venue, because churches usually allow you to use their spaces for free. Nakhona. Let's try a church venue where you don't need to pay for a venue, but you still have the workshop. So it's that's why we are here. And that's why you have a team, because when there's a lot of people suggesting, then you're able to come up with a whole lot more different, ideas or suggestions, if I may put it that way. Yeah.
And I guess, man, with also your team, we all need to understand that this is not an emotional decision.
Yeah.
And if things don't go your way, I think that's something that you need to actually accept as as an entrepreneur, that
100%.
things sometimes won't go your way.
Yeah.
And it's not emotional.
Yeah.
I can't say it. I'm not working with her anymore.
Yeah.
You need to be able to understand that Sizinhle has your best interest at heart. So, and
that's very true. We've been fired. I can understand. I'm some phone. You are fired because you're not in agreement.
Yeah.
But we can't all be yes people.
Okay. So, Sizinhle, I want us to go back to the accounting part, right? And looking at your tax deductions, right? So with some expenses, they are tax deductible and some are not tax deductible, especially when it comes to business. Can we just speak on those in terms of, are there some expenses, or what are deductions rather? Let's first start there. What are deductions? And could you just give us examples of what we could use as deductions to decrease our tax bill?
So I'm gonna use property, because obviously each space has limitations. Like I previously mentioned with you, deductions. Let's define deductions.
Yes.
Deductions are monies that came out of your pocket.
Yeah.
So it's like expenses, right? That you can claim for from SARS, right? So in property, like I said, we're talking about your...
When you're saying claim back, do you mean that SARS will give me back the money, or does it mean that it will just go towards my account? Or
yes. So they deduct it from your taxable income.
Oh, okay.
So I need to go tax the higher your income is, the higher they tax you.
Yes.
The lower the income, the lower they tax you. So you fall in different brackets. Like I said, there's like a tax table that's used.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we'll try share it somewhere somehow. But there's a tax table that helps you see which bracket you're under, and the lower your money, the lower the percentage you pay for tax. It's that type of thing. So when I say claim, I don't mean they're going to pay you back 350 rand of electricity that you got, but they're going to deduct it from what you need to be, from the taxable income that you have made in that current year.
Okay.
So electricity, water. I know if you go into your Airbnbs, there's also various things that you can claim, but it's not everything that you can claim. And I think people make the mistake of saying, I drove my car and I put 200 rand petrol to go to that property, so I'm going to claim for this fuel. You can't claim for that.
Yeah.
But you can claim for work done in the space, and for the daily expenses. Let me put it like that. The daily expenses that you incur in that space or in that rental property, some of it you can claim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So something else, just as a build up to that, right? I wanted to know that looking at tax season, right? You have tax season. How many times are you required to pay the tax, or are we paying taxes on a monthly basis? How does that actually work for someone who's never thought about taxes?
Paying tax.
Yeah.
So it is dependent, but usually tax season is once a year.
Okay.
And it ranges from the 31st of March. Well, a tax year ranges from the 31st of March to the 28th of February the following year, right? That's your tax year. And around July, August, tax season opens, where you can submit your claims. No, it's July. Where you submit your claims at SARS, you do all the taxation things. So you have time until November to do that. But with businesses, it sometimes differs. Because businesses have different year ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So if your year end is now, you can claim or your tax year rather, let me say, your tax year then maybe ends next year in August or September, right? Then you can still file for your taxes then. So it's a year end thing with businesses. It's not like personal where for personal, it's this date, November, everyone needs to have submitted. With businesses, it's year independent. And with SMEs, some SMEs are required to submit taxes twice in the financial year, and we call that provisional tax, but it's a whole different topic on its own that we might need to touch on some other time. So it's important to also check if you have an SME, if you need to submit your taxes once or twice, you know, because some of them need to submit provisional tax. So yeah.
Now, from my side, it's very important that we have these conversations, and I really appreciate the fact that you did come through. I know every time we have such conversations, we're checking balances. As you can hear, what is return on investment?
It's so important.
Is it dollar-based, or is it passion, or is it impact? So I really, really enjoyed myself, and I'm looking forward to the second, and not only the second, the future.
Yes.
Because with us, most of the time when we host such workshops, it's not necessarily just Susan Graphic and then she speaks and then everybody parts ways. It's more of, can we really create that community whereby we're all going forward and we can see what, you know, this is where we started, guys, and this is where we are right now. Looking forward to what the future has. And thank you for coming through, Susan.
Thank you.
Susan, any closing words?
From me, guys, I said on the high, Kuguti, just because you have the money, it doesn't mean you need to spend the money, you know? It's okay to say, it's not in my budget. And if it's not in your budget, it shouldn't come out, you know? And yeah, have that discipline, have that personal finance management, you know? Like I said at the hike as well, Uguti, learn a few things or basics about finance so that you can also stand your ground when it comes to financial decisions in your business, you know? Don't just rely on a financial advisor because they're human. They are also flawed. They also make mistakes. And if you are well-versed in finance, you're able to pick up the mistakes and the errors that people make. So yeah, invest in your business, invest in finance, invest in financial advisors rather, and accountants. It's beneficial to your business. Yeah, and thank you so much for having me. It was so lovely to be here.
There you go. Invest like a pro, but no more.